Okay, I would like to call to order the regular council meeting. We're doing this remotely for June 8th, 2020. Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell.
Present.
Mr. Sensi.
Here.
Mr. Consolmagno. Ms. Gibbons.
Here.
Mr. Hannon.
Present.
Mr. Harrison.
He's
Mr.
muted.
Mr. McLean.
Here.
Mr. Mowry.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Present.
At this time, we have all members of council present. At this time, I would like to turn to the reports of the officials and the library director's report.
Hi, good evening. This is Christine McIntosh, the Director of Your Public Library, where we provide opportunities to explore, learn, create, and connect. Some of you may have seen some activity going on at the library. During the yellow phase of the governor's COVID-19 plan, the library has been providing curbside pickups and returns. And now that Allegheny County has moved into the green phase, the library will be open to the public for limited hours beginning Monday, June 15th. Hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Masks are required to enter the municipal building and while in the library. Children under the age of 2 or those with a medical condition are exempt. High-touch areas such as counters and tables will be disinfected regularly during operating hours, and hand sanitizer is available throughout the library for you to use. Public computers will be available for use, but are limited to 1 hour per day to accommodate as many people as possible. All the toys and games in our family place area have been removed, and furniture has been reconfigured to maintain social distancing practices. Our study rooms are available, but we are limiting to 2 people in a room at a time. As we are limited in capacity, we are asking all patrons who visit to conduct their transactions and not linger in the library so that we can accommodate as many people as possible during our operating hours. You may return library materials in the outside book drops at any time, 24 hours a day. All return materials will be quarantined for a minimum of 72 hours before being checked in. So if you check your account, you'll notice they're still on there. Don't worry, they will be taken off your account after the quarantine phase and no fines are charged during that time. We'll still offer curbside pickup for those who are not comfortable coming into the library. So you can call the library and request items that are located in our collection only. We cannot request and receive materials from other libraries in Allegheny County at this time. Bethel Park Public Library is one of a few, 3 that I know of the 70 library outlets in Allegheny County that is opening to the public at this time. Please understand that all the services to which you have become accustomed may not yet be available. All classes and clubs will be on pause for the summer and will not be meeting at the library. We do ask for your patience and your support of these new rules and regulations that we must follow as we work to provide you the best library service that we can at this time. That is all I have this evening.
Are there any questions? Mr. Consolmagno, we cannot hear you. We'll come back. There's something with your audio. Okay, at this time, thank you very much. If we can turn to the police chief's report and Chief O'Connor.
Here, good evening, everyone. Since we are we're back in this green phase. Some of our police services are back open at the municipal building, at our offices. Our record room is back open if someone needs to pick up a report in person, although we still encourage people to do it by mail. Our prescription drug box is open, so if you need to drop off prescription drugs for disposal, you can do that again. Our property room is open, so if we were holding people's property, we will release it now. Contact the evidence custodian. Our Crime Watch meeting still postponed, so follow us on Facebook. We will put a lot of updates up there as we can. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Chief. Are there any questions? Hearing none, can we turn to the Fire Chief's report?
Good evening. This is Rob Usselman with the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. I'm the Assistant Chief. For the incident report for May of 2020, last month we had 25 calls, and the breakdown is as follows. We had 4 structure fires, 10 fire alarms, 2 CO alarms, 1 burnt food, 1 mulch fire, 1 odor investigation, 3 good intent, 1 wires down, 1 assist the medics, and 1 gas odor investigation. On that note, that was the incident reports. I would like to say one other thing. As we head towards one of the great holidays of this country, July 4th, people will be lighting and playing with fireworks. Please use common sense. Follow the ordinances of Bethel Park and Allegheny County, and please be safe as we head into this wonderful holiday. And that's all.
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. Can we turn to the Mayor's report and Mayor Allen?
Thank you, Mr. Murray. I just want to go over a couple of things that I mentioned last week. The one thing is all of our parks and fields are open. The Public Works Department has invested significant time and energy into making sure that our residents, our athletic association, they can utilize the fields now for practice and for games. Each of our parks will have signs on them. Our residents need to continue social distancing. And for our parents, we recommend that they bring their own seating rather than using bleachers. We will primarily be using the community center, the Summer Fun 2020 program, which I understand started today. And that'll be through June, July, and August. And because of that, the regular center hours and programs are on hold until the end of August. Hopefully, weekend rentals will begin in July. This change was made to assist local parents needing childcare and to give our staff time to evaluate their procedures to reopen not only the center for daily use and rentals, but for all the safe programs that they will offer. And finally, the only thing that I had was road construction started today on Route, or actually yesterday, on Route 88 in Clifton. That'll be closed from June 7th until June 13th. And the other project begins June 15th, and that'll go through the end of December. And that is widening or putting turning lanes on South Park Road at Logan. So they'll be working on those daily between 9 and 3. And that'll be a long project. The ones down at 88 Clifton, that'll be a week, and then they'll take time off, replace the bridge in a few more weeks, and that project will be done. So that's my report this evening.
Thank you very much, Mayor Allen. Mr. Consul Magno, can you speak for a minute to see if your microphone is working? It is not. If you'd like to maybe try and call in. Okay, at this time, can we turn to the approval of the minutes? And Mr. Hannan.
I move that we approve the minutes from the regular council meeting of Monday, May 11th, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannan, second by Ms. Gibbons to approve the meeting minutes from the regular council meeting of Monday, May 11th, 2020. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consul Magno, can you give me a thumbs up? Awesome. Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
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 Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. At this time, I would like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls and Mr. Hannan.
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality for bill list number 060820, $1,349,927.91.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannon and second by Ms. Gibbons that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 060820 for $1,349,927.91. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno, Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0. At this time, would like to turn to the resident comment section. Mr. Christian, do you have any comments?
Yes, Mr. Mowry, I have one comment from a resident, or actually a law firm speaking out on the behalf of a resident. His name is Mr. J.J. Bullock, and he represents Mr. John Murphy. It reads as follows. To the Bethel Park Council members, my name is J.J. Bullock, and along with Goldberg, Kamen, and Garvin represent John Murphy. This comment pertained to the action item for the McMurray grading permit extension. It is our understanding that Mr. Murphy's request for a one-year grading permit extension was denied and instead was granted a 2-month extension ending on July 8th, 2020. We again would ask that the grading permit extension be extended for 1 year. The current site is in safe and stable condition. Further, the site is not in danger of polluting any of the surrounding area. The need for a year-long extension is crucial as further earth moving and grading cannot occur until a new silt sock is placed on the site for the Allegheny County Conservation District. This has been unable to occur due to COVID-19. A larger issue also preventing further work being done is the discovery of a PennDOT water outlet on the site. PennDOT placed this water outlet on the site without an easement or permission. This issue can only be resolved by a joint permit from PennDOT, which cannot happen by July 8th. Due to these issues, which are out of control of our client, grading cannot continue at this time and cannot be completed by July 8th. Due to these issues, the original 1-year extension is completely reasonable. We respectfully request that a 1-year grading permit extension be granted. He goes on to clarify the joint permit is actually from the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. A permit from PennDOT is, however, also likely to be required. However, the fact remains that earth-moving grading cannot resume until those permits are obtained, and that cannot happen by July 8th, 2020. Thank you, J.J. Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. At this time, can we turn to general policy and finance and Mr. McLean, and we have no residents signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item on the agenda under General Policy and Finance is Ordinance 6-8-20, Tischler Land Donation. I move that we approve Ordinance 6-8-20, accepting the donation of 2 parcels of property identified as parcels number 476-H-120 and 476-M-224 to the municipality of Bethel Park per the Finance Director's memorandum dated June 4th, 2020.
A second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean and a second by Mr. Sensei that we approve ordinance number 6-8-20, accepting the donation of 2 parcels of property identified as parcel number 476-H-120 and 476-M-224 to the municipality of Bethel Park per the Finance Director's Memorandum dated June 4th, 2020. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Mowry?
Mr. McLean?
Just by way of explanation to the public, these are two parcels of property that adjoin the Montour Trail, and they are being donated to the municipality, and this ordinance is being adopted so that we can accept the donation of those two parcels.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items or any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno, Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons was yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
The next item on the agenda is insurance coverage. I move that we accept the National Insurance Services quote for life, accidental death and dismemberment, long-term disability, and short-term disability insurance coverage underwritten by the Madison National Life Insurance Company in the amount of $5,115.68 per monthly premium, as outlined in the Municipal Manager's Memorandum dated June 5, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McLean and a second by Mr. Sensi that we accept the National Insurance Services quote for life, accidental death and dismemberment, long-term disability, short-term disability insurance coverage underwritten by Madison National Life Insurance Company in the amount of $5,115.68 per monthly premium as outlined in the Municipal Manager's Memorandum dated June 5th, 2020. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Mowry?
Mr. McLean.
Yeah, just to explain to folks, this is the insurances for municipal employees, and we are renewing the coverages that we have had in place for life and accidental death and dismemberment and long-term disability. Prior to this time, we had been self-insured for the short-term disability. We took a look at that, have had a number of claims, short-term disability claims, and have determined that it will be more cost-effective to include the short-term disability in the insurance package. So we put this out for bid, received 3 different proposals, and the proposal that we are approving this evening was the lowest bid of the proposals that we received.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno, Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
There are no further agenda items under general policy and finance.
Does anybody have any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare and Mr. O'Brien?
Mr. Chairman, there are no items under health, safety, and welfare this evening.
Thank
Although
you,
I have one.
Mr. O'Brien.
I'd just like to say if, people feel comfortable and feel safe to go out now, since we're in the green, I'm going to ask them to support their local businesses, stores and the restaurants. They really kind of need our business. They really kind of need to see us there again. And there's one particular restaurant that really helped us during this pandemic and these difficult times was Al's Restaurant. And I went up there on Friday, and they have two very large dining areas, an area to eat outside, and also a loft. So there's a lot of area to social distance, and there's a lot of area to feel comfortable about going out again. So I just want to encourage people, if they feel safe, if they feel comfortable, to start supporting our local businesses once again. That's all, Mr. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to planning and zoning and Ms. Gibbons?
Thank you. Application number 2019-0823, Dream Greener Lawn and Landscape LLC, Major Land Development, 4991 Library Road, property lot and block numbers 392-F-225, 392-F-215, 392-F-175, 392-F-200, 392-F-165, 392-G-110, 392-F-305, and 392-G-120, Dream Greener Lawn and Landscape LLC. Applicant, current zoning C2, Ward 4. I move that we approve application number 2019-0823, Dream Greener Lawn and Landscape LLC, Major Land Development, in accordance with the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated May 14, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons and seconded by Mr. Hannan that we approve application number 0823 Dream Greener Lawn and Landscape LLC, Major Land Development, in accordance with the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated May 14th, 2020. This property is at the site of the Allegheny County Public Works Facility, the former facility on Route 88. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannan,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mowry,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0, or is that 8-0? We'll give it 8-0. Can we go back to Ms. Gibbons?
Yes, Lindemer Street vacation, setting a public hearing. I move that we set a public hearing for July 27th for the Lindemer Street vacation for the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated May 14th, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Ms. Gibbons, seconded by Mr. Hannan, that we set a public hearing for July 27th for the Lindemer Street vacation per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated May 14th, 2020. Just for the record, this public hearing will be held in council chambers, and you'll be able to submit comments in writing. You'll also be able to attend in person. Are there any other discussion? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Council Magno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Better believe it, yes.
Motion passes 9-0. At this time, I would like to turn to Ms. Gibbons.
There are no additional agenda items under planning and zoning.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Does anybody have any comments? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Mr. Hannon?
All right, the first item is the McMurray Road grading permit. I move that we approve the modification of the McMurray Road grading permit per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated March 17th, 2020, and updated June 2nd, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannon and second by Mr. O'Brien that we approve the modification of the McMurray Road grading permit per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated March 17, 2020, and updated on June 2nd, 2020. This was the comment by the attorney at the beginning of the meeting that Mr. Christian read. This is the property that everybody's been wondering that is across the street from South Park Road and McMurray Road. There's a big pile of dirt. What we have requested, he had asked for a 1-year extension. We gave him 2 months, and we asked him if he could level that off to the grade of the road. So that's the property. There's no site development or any plans in front of the municipality. It's just moving dirt from one area to another. Any question on this item? Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Mr. Hannon,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Hannon.
The next item is award of contract to the road program. I move that we approve the acceptance of the low bid in the amount of $691,717.50 from Melee and Melee and Sons for the base bid with an option to add additional alternatives based on the projected revenue budget per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated June 3rd, 2020.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Hannon and seconded by Mr. O'Brien that we approve the acceptance of the low bid in the amount of $691,717.50 from Melee and Melee and Sons for the base bid with the option to add additional alternatives based on the projected revenue budget per the Director of Engineering's memorandum dated June 3rd, 2020. Just for the record, last month we actually voted to not accept the bids based on the pandemic and our potential loss of revenue. We're now going to approach the road program a little differently. We're going to do the base bid, and we'll see by August when the program starts where we are financially, and we could potentially increase this amount, but as of right now, this is the bid we're going to go with. Is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, Mr. Christian, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Sensi,
Yes.
Mr. Consolmagno,
Yes.
Ms. Gibbons,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Mallory,
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien,
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Hannon.
No further agenda items.
Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Hannon, seconded by Mr. O'Brien. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, and good night, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Murray, as soon as we cancel this, I'm going to